Hi and welcome back to the farm. My name is Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and each week you'll find me here talking about my farming and my creative life. This week I wanted to talk about the seasons and the changing of the seasons, but also how in the Wurundjeri tribe, who were the First Nations people who lived in this area, how they had 6 seasons rather than 4. And I think it really best describes how the weather changes here and the transitioning between, and not that straight cut line between summer and autumn or winter and spring sort of thing. So I'm going to read these because I don't want to mess them up. I don't have their official names and I wouldn't want to try and pronounce Indigenous language, so I'm just going to categorize them and talk about what each of them means. So let's start with where we are now, which is early March. For February and March, it is classified as being late summer. So it's the hot and humid part of the year where there are thunderstorms and all of the grasslands dry out, and it's a very high fire danger, and that's certainly been true for us right now. Then we'll move in to late March and April and May, which is classified as early winter, and things start to cool down and it becomes quite still and misty. Birds start to flock and migrate north, and apparently we'll get fungi growing, so we'll get some mushrooms. Then into June and mid-July, which is classified as deep winter. That's when it gets cold and it's the wettest part of the year. Fingers crossed that happens and we do get quite a lot of rain. You'll see this week our almost empty dam, and it'll show you just how dry it really is at the moment. Then move into the second half of July and August, which is known as pre-spring, when things begin to warm up and they're the first flowers and the birds begin to nest. Then we move into September, October and the first half of November, which is true spring. That's when things begin to warm up slightly. It's still very wet, becomes windy, and there becomes an abundance of flowers and insects. And then late November, December and January is high summer, where it's warm to hot and grasses become tall and set seed and birds start to feed their young, and it starts to heat up back into that late summer, hot, humid, and the cycle begins again. I think it does apply better to understanding nature a bit more here and how things operate. You do see that it's a slower transition, and there are things that stand out, like it's beautiful mornings right now that are cool and crisp, but we're still getting quite warm days. So it's easier to explain it when you break up the seasons into some smaller pieces and that show clearly a bit more of a transition. Now let's take a look at my week on the farm.
Jackpot, look at all of those apples. It's a bit of a wonky looking tree, and as soon as the cows come in here it'll probably be completely eaten, but I'll pick these now and we'll see what they taste like. Since I talked about the weather, I've had some people asking me whether we've had any rain, and the answer is yes, we have, but it's really not doing any good. Look that's our big dam, and even though we have had a little bit of rain, it actually doesn't seem to be making a lot of difference. Obviously that's a big area to fill up, but the water's definitely shrinking. We had a tiny little bit of rain the other day, and what seems like a lot of rain in the city when you're in your house and you're hearing it on your roof, actually doesn't equate to all that much when you think about needing to fill a big dam like that.
That's all for this week. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love if you could subscribe so you don't miss an episode. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.